We understand that currently there is an abundance, no shortage of technical AI trainings or Gen AI training for a lot of organizations out there. However, what most finds to be in lacking is the ability to go about developing policies, guidelines, or a clear idea of how to adopt or develop AI within their respective organization. And we intend to answer that question of how do we go about this. So there are roughly four agendas for this webinar. The first being who we are, Verdas AI. Second being what is RAIE. RAIE stands for Responsible AI and Ethics. That would be the sneak peek that we have on this training. And then fourth will be the Q&A session that we have for this training. Okay. Verdas AI. So Verdas AI is a company built in Germany. It started off as a training and consultancy company on responsible AI. We focus primarily on responsible AI because, as I have stated earlier, there is no shortage of technical AI trainings, generative AI trainings out there. But what we find to be most lacking is in the area of responsible AI. How do you do so or go about adopting or developing AI responsibly? So we have worked with a lot of startups, family-owned business, Fortune 500 companies, government ministries, international standards organizations like IEEE, in designing and implementing cutting-edge AI training program. We have equipped organization with a lot of knowledge and frameworks needed to deploy AI efficiently, effectively. Our offerings are varied. We have implementation for AI Academy, customized AI training program, and we would also like to offer you some consideration in partnering with Verdas AI because we have a proven track record when it comes to industry aligned training, scalable solutions, experience that you can trust, and compliance expertise primarily on AI and standards. Okay, and don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have further questions. Okay, more about myself. In addition to working with Verdas AI as a managing director and AI ethicist, I am also a member for the Malaysian National AI Office, where I have helped them in regards to the constitution, rule of law, and guide to responsible AI. In the past, I've also developed an AI standards for IEEE, namely the P7003 series, the algorithmic bias consideration. I've also been in some capacity for research and consultancy for Petra, which is a consortium based in the UK that focuses on IoT and cybersecurity. And I've also produced a thesis on the role of standards in the future of AI governance. When it comes to Malaysia, I think this is quite important because as of late, the ministry have indicated a lot of intention to bake standards into their upcoming regulatory framework, which would be one of the items that we would cover in the actual training itself. And moreover, I have also trained over 100 global AI experts in the IEEE Certificate Authorized Assessor Program throughout 2024 and 2025 alone. Can read more about this after this session. Okay, Shafira, I think this is your part. Yes.
Yeah, I just will jump quickly. Hi, Puan Shaida and Cik Zulkifli. Basically, I'm Shafira. I'll be helping mostly on the AI safety parts. I would love to hear more from the others, how AI would be used safely and how we want to govern that in our companies. But to differentiate from Firdaus, my role would be more on how the technicalities of AI would be translated to make it safe. So that's the idea of AI safety. So yep, I'm passing back to you, Firdaus.
Thanks, Shafira. Short and sweet introduction to herself. Shafira had done a lot of amazing work internationally and locally. I think quite recently you have been invited to be a member of a podcast for Mr. Money, if I'm not mistaken, Shafira, to speak more about AI safety and governance. So AI safety and governance is her domain of expertise, as well as few others. So yeah. Oh, Shafira, in the meantime, please do approve, admit anyone to the webinar. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have gone through briefly about who we are as individuals as part of Verdas AI, this is our team structure. Verdas AI have been co-founded by Dr. Alison Fisher and Dr. Denise van der Weyer. Both of them had worked extensively in the world of consultancy and IT. Namely, Dr. Denise was the lead for BMW head of AI unit. And Dr. Alison Fisher had held a number of different leadership positions in education institutions across Europe and the US. And there's myself, Shafira No, and Dr. Johanna. Okay, so now on to the core of this webinar agenda. What is RAIE? So in overview, RAIE was developed in view of AI systems being used to inform decisions in a lot of domains, such as finance, healthcare, HR, security, and public policy. And therefore, a lot of these organizations have a need to have an in-house champion that could teach them on ethical AI fundamentals, basically train their staff, counsel their partners, and helping them to embed relevant ethical AI principles. And we know out there are a lot of we have no shortage of AI ethics principles, at least high level ones. But what we have in difficulty is to operationalize these high-level AI ethics principles, which we hope to achieve through this training. And furthermore, this is a two-day training program that blends knowledge from AI ethics and responsible AI with adult learning and consultancy skills. So participants like yourself, should you be interested to attend this training, could design courses, facilitate workshop, and advise external stakeholders on how to go about AI ethics and AI governance. Okay, the three outcomes that we have intended for this training are namely helping you to explain key AIS ethical principles, the common risks, and current regulation in AI systems, apply practical tools and frameworks to assess and improve AIS for fairness, transparency, accountability, and privacy. You may ask why these four principles? Well, they are drawn from one of most fundamental AI governance framework that are out there, namely the IEEE, but they are not to say similar. They are not a direct copy. Rather, they are inspired by such. And thirdly, it is intended to help you counsel others on responsible AI implementation, policy alignment, and continuous monitoring. Okay, the intended attendees for this training would be policy and compliance officer, risk manager, data science leads, technology consultants, L&D professionals, regulator, NGO advisors, or anyone tasked with training or advising other organization on AI ethics. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was checking whether my microphone was receiving my input clearly. Okay, for day one, you would go through three modules. We would begin with the introduction, class organization, the usual stuff when it comes to training like this. We would go through what is ethics and what is AI ethics and why is it important. So not just about what they are, but also why are they important. For module two, we would go through the ethical challenges when it comes to implementing AI ethics. We would employ the tools like OECD AI incident and hazard monitoring tool. It is a platform developed by OECD in monitoring most recent events and past events pertaining to AI, especially incidents involving them. We would explore key ethical theories and frameworks. We would do some context alignment, especially with AIGE, our AI governance and ethics guideline that was developed by Musti in collaboration with JDN and a few other agencies in Malaysia. And they were published last year, if I am to be correct. And lastly, module three, we would see the current and future direction in AI ethics, the global AI policies, regulation, and helping you to build an ethical mindset. So, how do you actually build an ethical mindset, more or less, a framework when it comes to AI ethics? On day two, you would go through four modules, beginning with module four, the fundamentals of responsible AI. tools and frameworks for responsible AI assessment. You would have a workshop in Module 5, use case on Gen AI for public sector agency. You would review this workshop, the use case of Gen AI for public sector agency, and this is where you would start exploring tools like vibe coding. Our instructor Shafira No will help you explore on how to use and how to go about vibe coding. If you are not familiar with vibe coding, it's quite simple in spite of the name. Module 6 would help you set lesson goals and design learning for professional, basically preparing you to be a teacher, a counselor when it comes to AI ethics. And Module 7, choosing a responsible AI and ethics lesson and delivery. This is the part where you would choose one of the component that you have acquired throughout the 2-day training. And we would give you, meaning the facilitator and your peers, would give you feedback on the lesson and delivery. Okay. And this is the tentative for this training. The date is set for 25th and 26th of June, which is on Wednesday and Thursday of next week. The venue is at SIRIM Academy, Section 2, Shah Alam. The fees is about 3,200 ringgit, excluding 8% SSD, and it's fully HRDC claimable. Both Shafira and I are HRDC accredited trainer. And this is the registration code, the QR, as well as the link. Do let us know if you would like to have access to the slide, because we were more than happy to provide you with the slide afterward. Okay, and this training is being jointly delivered and collaborated with Verdas AI and SIRIM Academy. Okay, so a sneak peek. I guess this is the part that a lot of you have the most interest in. So in module 1, before AI ethics, we would go about what is ethics. And to do this, we tapped into some classical folklore, some classical media, namely the P. Ramlee, one of P. Ramlee's artwork, that is the Orang Minyak. And we won't go deep into the reason why we went with Orang Minyak, but we would let you have some guesses on this. Some hints involve AI and screening, AI in detecting possible criminals. So those will be the hints that you have to guess from. But basically, in this section, we would explore what is ethics, where it is commonly associated with our sense of morality, guiding principles, and this is dependent on many things like our religious upbringing, our communal upbringing, our personal upbringing, the standards of behavior that tells us how human beings ought to act in a given situation, and making decision about what is good, what is bad, what is wrong, and what is right. For example, in this example that we've drawn upon Piramid's work, like how we must fight orang minyak, and perhaps considering how AI can help catch them before they attack us. So again, this is about AI and screening. It's quite fascinating. Secondly, in also module 1, we would go into what is AI ethics. So we've learned what is ethics. Now we go into what is AI ethics. So AI ethics is about the impact of AI system on human, and we would explore some commonalities across global AI ethical frameworks like beneficence, non-maleficence, autonomy, justice, explicability, and we would go into some quotes, some terminologies, as well as scholarly interpretation of what is AI ethics to help us understand and grapple with this topic, namely AI ethics. And we would go into why is it important, because while the question of ethics have preoccupied much of our human history, the question of AI ethics are far more direct and nuanced to AI use cases. We would show you examples of how you would frame question in ethics and how would you frame questions in AI ethics. And we believe by framing these questions correctly, it would help you better in guiding your organizations, your partners, your client in the art of AI governance and ethics. Okay, so for module 2, again, we would explore the 4 principles when it comes to, or 4 ethical challenge when it comes to AI ethics, namely bias and fairness, privacy and surveillance, transparency and explainability, and accountability. We would go into specific use cases involving each of these principles or ethical challenges. We will go into the usage of OECD AIM as a tool, how it would help us as an AI ethicist or an AI ethics governance champion for your organization. especially in light of the use cases that we have for them. So for OECD, you can see here there are more than four concerns that they covered or incidents like accountability, transparency, privacy, robustness, respect for human rights, human well-being, democracy, safety, fairness, and sustainability. So this again reiterate the point that it's not about how many AI ethics principles that are out there, but rather how do you explain them and how do you go about operationalizing each one of these principles? Because having high level principles alone are insufficient in helping you governing AI and doing AI management for your organization. Okay. And just to fine tune this better for the context of Malaysia, we would explore how AIGE fairness principle works in action. So we would give you a few use cases such as this. This is where we would use GPT use case where it tries to interpret some of the articles contained in the US Constitution. So when the same work is being done to Malaysia, it would produce a far more left-leaning sort of interpretation to their output, which is not necessarily aligned with our own local values. So we would also explore this in working and help us understand AIGE better. And we would go into the current and future directions of AI ethics, global AI policies and regulation, beginning from the last 5 years in the US, 2019, up till now in Malaysia, to 2025, where there was a report most recently produced by one of our media, where it captured a statement from one of our minister, where the AI regulation framework work itself is being in motion. And as a member of NAU expert work group, I was also responsible partly for the publication of this report that helped the minister to make such statement. And we would also explore some of the emerging frameworks for compliance and responsibility, like NIST AI Risk Management Framework, ISO IEC 42001, the 10 causes that are fundamental in ISO 42001. We will also look at TILCERT and IEEE certificate, our bread and butter at Verdas AI. So in Model 3, we would also explore the AI supply chain and expanding AI frontiers. We would look into the data and AI lifecycle from scoping and planning into deployment and then repeating itself. So how do we go about developing a guide that addresses this, that continuously monitor these lifecycle events? And we would explore fundamentals of responsible AI in Module 4. So in earlier section, we've acquired some understanding onto what is ethics, what is AI ethics. Now we would go about what is responsible AI. So in a nutshell, responsible AI is about the practice of designing, developing, deploying, and governing AI system in a way that aligns with ethical principles. So in the earlier part, it is about the whatness. Here, it is about the how do you accomplish these things. And we include pillars of responsible AI from AIGE, namely there are six of them: fairness, non-discrimination, transparency, explainability, robustness, data privacy, human centricity, governance, and accountability. Okay, module 5 is the part where you would learn how to go about vibe coding with a workshop on Gen AI for public sector agency. Shafira would walk you through how to go about doing vibe coding, as well as how to create policies that addresses the usage of Gen AI for public sector agency. And then module 6, our second last goal, we would learn how to design lesson goals and the learning itself. We employ Bloom's taxonomy. In case you are not familiar with Bloom's taxonomy, it's a popular framework or taxonomy in the learning world, where you are divided into different categories of the kind of learners that would pick up different things based on certain principles, such as being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound, and engaging. So you would have to design your AI ethics course for your organization according to these principles. And the theory is that by doing this, it would help you deliver your lessons better and basically embed the culture of responsible AI with your organization or your counseling partner. And then lastly, you would plan your own RAIE delivery. This is the part where you would have to choose a topic, choose your target audience, have your key learning objective, and have your engagement strategy. Right. So I think this we have covered the seven. Now on to Q&A. We're making good time. We have about 30 minutes left for Q&A session. So we welcome the floor.